Hi, and welcome to another Vision Australia Vision Store product demonstration. And today I'm going to be talking about, yes, you probably guessed what I'm going to say, another one of my favorite devices that I actually use all the time myself. And of course, I'm referring to the OpenMove Aftershokz wireless Bluetooth headphones that I've got on the table in front of me here. And the product ID for this is E for elephant, S for snake, 7456. So let me first of all let you know what you get in the box, and then I'll go through some of the features of the OpenMove Aftershokz, remembering that they're bone conduction. So these headphones don't put the sound into your ear directly, they put the sound through your cheekbones when the pads on either side on the headset sit on your cheekbones and the sound goes into your inner ear that way, but I'll get onto the benefits of that in a minute. So what you get in the box, of course, is the Aftershokz themselves, which have got a titanium band, so quite strong and flexible. Then you've also got this tiny little box of things that you want to stick in your earbuds, so that if you're on an aircraft or a noisy train, for example, then this blocks the sound going into your ears, quote, normally, because again, remember the Aftershokz are sitting, the pads are sitting on your cheekbones. So that's the ear tips or buds, or we want to call them, to whack into your ears to block out the sound. It's going to put them aside for the moment. Then you also get this bag that you can slide the OpenMove Aftershokz into. So it's just a simple opening. You've got the drawstring on either side here that you can pull tight, so it keeps the OpenMove Aftershokz nice and clean. And then you also get, of course, a getting started guide, and finally, which I haven't got with me because it's plugged into my charger at the moment, a USB-C to USB charging cable to charge the Aftershokz. So when you get everything out of the box and you want to plug it in, if I come to just in front of these two buttons here on the band, there's a little place where I can stick my fingernail and pull the little rubber door up and out, so back towards me. Now, for those who can't see the video, I've currently got the band furthest away from me and the little pads that sit in cheekbones closest to me. So I'm looking at as I'm currently holding it, it's upside down. The pads are facing up closer towards me, and I'll pull the little rubber door away from the closest button to the little door, which is actually the volume up button. And that's, I said, where you put in the USB-C cable, of course, to plug into a wall charger or a USB charger itself on a power board, for example. All right, so now I'm going to leave it in this orientation because it's easy to talk about, but the way they would normally sit on your ear, I'm just going to turn them around, and that's the way they would sit over your ears. Okay, so the band's now closest to me. The pads are now furthest away from me on the left and the right hand side. So on the left hand side here, I've got my finger at the moment. So the left hand side pad that sits on your left cheekbone, that's a multi-function button, a rectangular button that's quite easy to feel. And then the controls that I said were behind that USB-C port, they're the volume down buttons. So the one that's closest to the pads at the front of the headset is volume up, and the one that's furthest away is volume down. So if I've now turned them back around again, so they're upside down again. So the one closest, as I said, the one closest to the USB-C port, I've got my finger at the moment, that's the volume up. One behind it's volume down. The volume up button's actually got a little tactile marker on it, and if you hold that button in for 3 seconds, it turns the headset on. If you hold it in for another 3 seconds, it turns the headset off. And the other thing it also does is, if it's the first time you've used the headset, you turn it on, it'll say OpenMove and or Aftershokz. I think it actually says Aftershokz now I think about it. And what it does, it'll then say pairing mode. And then you go to your Bluetooth settings on your Bluetooth device and pair them. So that next time when you turn them on, it'll say Aftershokz and then simply connected. And then to turn the volume up and down once they're on, you just press it singly. So just up, up, up. And of course the down button furthest away, down, down, down. So that's all to do with the side buttons on the right hand side as you're wearing them. The other thing I wanted to mention as we're just talking about this right hand side before I move on to that button on the left hand side is that to charge them up takes around about 2 or 3 hours, and then you've got 6 hours of continuous headset use, and I mean continuous. So it's not the fact that you just wear them and after 6 hours the battery goes flat. It's 6 hours of continuous audio use out of the headset. So let's come over to this other side now, and I'm just going to tip it that way a little bit on its side so you've got a good look at the button here. What that button actually does is a few things. So once the headset's on, you press it once to start playing music. If it's already been playing previously, it'll start the music. If you press it again, it'll stop. You press it again to start the music, press it twice to go forward a track, press it 3 times to go back to a previous track. And then if you hold it in, it'll invoke your personal assistant. So in my case, on my iPhone, it would invoke Siri. Now, just a warning at the moment, with my iPhone 12 Pro running 14.4.1 as I do this in early March 2021, there's something a bit silly happening with Siri. So I would invoke Siri from your iPhone in this case, and then there's a dual microphone in the right hand earpiece that will pick up the Siri voice quite nicely. And while I'm talking about the microphone, if you've got an incoming phone call, you press this rectangular button, so the multifunction button on the left hand side of the headset to answer a call, press it again to hang up a phone call. And when you answer a call, the person will just assume that you're using a hands-free headset and the audio quality is quite good. Okay, and that's really all there is to using the headset. Just some final points. The responsiveness out of the headset. So I'm talking about where you can use gestures with the screen reader that blind or low vision people use on the iOS device, VoiceOver or TalkBack on Android/Samsung. When you're flicking around and getting the voice to respond to you, the response out of the headset to the audio speech when you're flicking around with your finger on the screen is very good. There's no latency whatsoever, really. The next thing I wanted to let you know that you can actually pair this headset with 2 different devices, so device 1 and device 2. So if you had 2 iPhones, an iPhone and an iPad, or you had an Apple Watch and an iPhone, then you can pair them together. And that's called multi-point mode. I won't go into that in this demo, but you could check with the AT Help Desk at Vision Australia, or certainly check with the Vision Store folks on how to do that. But it's called multi-point mode. It needs to do 2 devices at once. By default, it's 1 device. The next thing I wanted to mention is that because this just acts like a normal Bluetooth set of headphones, any device that supports a Bluetooth headset will work with these OpenMove Aftershokz. So for example, not just an iPhone, an iPad, a Samsung phone, etc., but remember also things like the Victor Trek, which is the Victor Stream / GPS device from Humanware that Vision Australia also sells. That works extremely well. And the reason why I mentioned the Victor Trek plus GPS is also the fact that if you're out and about using GPS apps on your iPhone or your Samsung / Android device, the really cool thing about using bone conduction headphones, where the sound's going in through your cheekbones into your inner ear, is that your ears are then free to listen to environmental sounds around you. So for example, you can hear people coming behind you and in front of you. You can hear cars coming left, right, behind or in front of you. Again, if you're walking down a street or crossing a road, you can hear a train coming, all that sort of stuff. So the great thing about bone conduction, like I just said, is that you can also listen to your environmental sounds around you all the time whilst you're using your primary mobility device, whether that's a cane, and not so much a device, but you know, your seeing eye dog or your guide dog. So they are really good headphones. I tend to refer to these as my audio sunglasses because these literally stay on my head all the day. Again, the band sits on the back of your neck. They come up and over your ears with the pads on either side. If you turn them up full bore, somebody would probably hear them sitting next to you in the train if they're a bit closer than 1.5 meters away due to social distancing at the moment. But normally you wouldn't hear much of them. I do find it hard to listen to. Probably on an aircraft it's a bit noisy, mainly because there's also sound coming into your ear, and that's why they give you those little earplugs to stick in your ears to try and block the sound out coming in your inner ear. So there we go. So that's a bit of a chit chat about the OpenMove Aftershokz wireless Bluetooth headset. Again, the product number is E for elephant, S for snake, and then the number is 7456. If you'd like more information about the OpenMove Aftershokz bone conduction headphones, then please contact the Vision Store via the main Vision Australia main number, which is 1300 847 466. Or you can contact them via email at visionstore@visionaustralia.org. And of course, you can shop for the headset online at the shop page, which is shop.visionaustralia.org. And as I say in all my other demos, thanks for your attention and bye for now.